Hey guys, here we go with number 7 of the timeline series in the case of Christopher Watts. Okay, we learned in previous videos that she magically bought a house in December of 2009, that in January of 2010 she was accused of embezzlement, that in later years she would claim that in May of 2010 she was diagnosed with 3 very serious illnesses all in 1 week. We've learned that over the summer of 2010, she wanted a one-way ticket out of there. We learned that she met Christopher Watts on August 10th of 2010. And when they first started dating, she told him that she wanted to have 10 children. We've learned that shortly after she met Christopher Watts, she quit her job. And she walked in a lupus fundraiser and took part in other fundraising activities too, telling people their cash donations given to her would be turned over to the Lupus Foundation. In November 2010, she started babysitting one child, and that lasted until February of 2011, when the family moved away to Colorado. The mother of the child she was babysitting got a nursing position in Colorado. After she lost her job when the family moved away, she announced that it was official. She was opening a daycare center. In June, she announced she was becoming a nurse. On August 10th of 2011, Christopher Watts proposed, and in December of 2011 was their engagement party. She claimed that around that time she had suffered multiple break-ins to her car, and there were multiple accidents also which damaged her car, which all took place while her car was on the property which belonged to her employer. So let's see, I think she quit her job in December for the second time, because remember, she was going to become a nurse. So she was saying that she was starting the nursing program in January of 2012. She claimed she started the ASN nursing program at the Presbyterian School of Nursing. But as far as we know, there was no ASN nursing program in 2011 at the Presbyterian School of Nursing, according to the school website, and also according to the Peterson book, which lists all nursing programs in the country. In January 2012, she claims her house was broken into, and that the perp was actually in the house, and she had to run really fast, and she was very scared. Also in January 2012, she claimed to be very ill. Let's see. In February of 2012, Christopher Watts moved to Colorado, and she followed in either March or April, dropping out of the nursing program that we are still not sure ever existed. So remember the woman she babysat for about 3 months, who moved to Colorado? Well, when Christopher Watts and his wife moved to Colorado, of course at that time they were engaged, they weren't married yet, they lived with that family. And remember, she was a nurse, the woman who Christopher Watts' wife had babysat for. Not only was she a nurse, she was also involved with MLMs. And it appears that Christopher Watts' wife joined in, or hopped on, or fell for it, however you want to say it. So she became the maid of honor. And remember, they had known each other 3 months while Christopher Watts' wife babysat for her. And then she moved out there in either March or April, the year of the wedding. And that's who she chose to be her maid of honor. I think that's really interesting. I'll touch on that a little more later. Also remember that when she lost that babysitting job, when the mom got a nursing job out in Colorado, that just 4 months later, she announced she was going to become a nurse too. And later that year, the year that she announced she was going to become a nurse, later that year, she said that she and Christopher Watts would be in Colorado sooner than they knew. So again, in February of 2012, Christopher Watts moved to Colorado. And I think it is interesting to note that the woman who would become her maid of honor was a nurse, and that Christopher Watts' then fiance said she wanted to be a nurse too. Both women would eventually have 2 children. Both women had hired babysitters to help out. The house that Christopher Watts would eventually buy in Colorado at the end of 2013, well, it looks eerily similar to the maid of honor's house. Her car, again, very similar. The OCD routine, eerily similar. And I didn't remember seeing anything at all about OCD before the time frame that she would have been living in the woman's house who would then become her maid of honor. The girls' bedroom decor, it isn't even eerily similar. It's eerily identical to the photos that have been posted online of the bedrooms of the children of her maid of honor. Was Christopher Watts' wife like a chameleon, changing her shades to fit the person who stood next to her really as her maid of honor the day she began her fairy tale marriage? Just a thought. I don't know. What do you guys think? So let's see. Where are we? Christopher Watts' wife dropped out of the nursing program and joined him in April. Then in July, so May, June, July, 3 months later, she got a job working at the same place that Christopher Watts worked, at the dealership. I think it's really interesting that Christopher Watts' wife chose a woman she had known for such a short time in her life to be her maid of honor. And I think it's also very interesting the way it seems like she's trying to pattern her future after her maid of honor's life. It's kind of creepy, actually, in a way. And it's kind of sad, too, if you think about it. Something else that's very sad is how everybody on social media is attacking Christopher Watts' family for not attending the wedding. And I just want to touch on that a little bit here. Because at the bridal shower, Christopher Watts' family was accused of cross-contaminating the food. No kidding. And you know, the bridal shower had approximately 25 people attending. And Christopher Watts' then fiance accused his sister of not mailing out invitations. She claimed there should have been 80 people there. But I've been contacted by somebody who lives right in North Carolina, and I've been told that the bridal shower did not have a bunch of extra chairs or place settings set up at all. And I've been told that the space that the bridal shower was held in would not have even accommodated 80 people. So I think that's a really interesting storyline. And I think it's also very sad that Christopher Watts' then fiance told him to call his sister and to tell her that she was no longer welcome to be in the bridal party. I think that's a very interesting detail when you consider that the person she chose instead for her bridal party was someone who she had known for a very short length of time. I don't know about you guys, but to me, I don't think that's a look of love right there. What do you think? Let us know in the comment section below. Think about how sad that must have been. What a sad day. If you were Christopher Watts' mother or father or his sister. To think that your son is marrying someone who has falsely accused you of trying to contaminate her food and trying to sabotage her bridal shower. Just imagine the sadness in their hearts already months before when their son announced that he was moving to Colorado. Because according to their son, they had to move because his fiance's his fiance's doctor told her that she needed to move to Colorado because of her health problems. I think we call them her health challenges. So they already suffered a loss when all of a sudden he announced he was moving to Colorado because of his fiance's health challenges. And then by the time the wedding took place, they were strategically excluded from the festivities.